it's Madison Brown. Welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm going to show you how to make my delicious apple walnut bread. To begin, I have gone ahead and melted 10 tablespoons of butter. And to this, I am going to take 3/4 cup of dark brown sugar. I'm just going to add it right into the butter. And I'm going to go ahead and give that a big stir just to go ahead and get all of that brown sugar dissolving. That's why it's important for the butter to be hot and warm, because that way the sugar will dissolve quicker. Now to this mixture, I'm going to add 5 tablespoons of light corn syrup. I know this is kind of odd. A lot of times you don't see this in cakes, but I promise it just makes this one moist and delicious. And it's dense. Oh, it's so perfect. Now to this mixture, I'm going to add 3/4 cup of milk. And again, give it another quick stir. So I have all of our liquid ingredients sitting over here cooling down a bit, and so I'm gonna go ahead and get started on our dry ingredients. So to my mixing bowl, I'm going to take 2 cups of just all-purpose flour, add that right on in. And then I'm also gonna add 1½ teaspoons of baking powder and 1½ teaspoons of ground cinnamon. This is gonna just send our cake right over the edge. Let's go ahead and give that a mix. So now this looks nice and incorporated, so I'm going to take our wet ingredients and just add them slowly into the dry ingredients. You'll notice that the batter is like really wet and sticky, and this is great. This means that our bread is going to be so incredibly moist, and it's also gonna be a little dense, which I absolutely love in a loaf of any kind. So now this looks nice and incorporated, so I'm gonna just switch it off really quick while I grab our 2 eggs. Now because our mixture is already kind of incorporated, what I'm gonna go ahead and do is just beat these eggs and then slowly add them to our mixture. I'm gonna turn our mixer back on. Don't wanna overmix it, you know? I'm just gonna slowly add the eggs into the batter. Now that our batter is mixed up, I like to get started on the stars of our shows, the apples and the walnuts. I'm just gonna take 2 apples and I'm going to peel them. So for this recipe, we're just gonna wanna use a firm textured red apple, like a gala. That's what I'm using today. Because the firmer textured apples are just gonna hold up a lot better when they bake. They hold up well under the heat. Now that we have our apples peeled, I'm gonna go ahead and take a nice sharp knife. I'm just gonna chop them up, being careful to avoid the core, because we don't want that in our bread. I'm gonna chop these pretty fine because I like them really well incorporated in the batter, so that every time you take a bite, you get a little bit of apple. Now that we have both apples chopped up, I'm just gonna add them right to the mixture. Now for the walnuts. What we want is 1/2 cup. These are walnut halves. And I'm just gonna give those a nice quick rough chop. Into our batter we go. Now I'm going to take our lovely batter with the apples and the walnuts, and I'm using a spatula. I'm gonna hand fold these in using a circular motion. Now that we have everything nice and incorporated, and oh my goodness, I cannot tell you how absolutely divine this batter smells. That cinnamon, oh. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and add the batter right to my tin. So all you wanna do now is smooth out the loaf so that it bakes nice and even. Our apple walnut loaf is gonna go into the oven for 50 minutes at 375 degrees. So our apple walnut loaf has finished cooking, and by now your house should smell absolutely delicious. It's a gorgeous dark brown color, and I've let it cool so that it's easier to take out of its loaf pan. So now all that's left to do is to turn it out and give it a try. See, it just pops right out. The moment of truth. Oh my goodness. So see, you can see there's apples all throughout it. That's exactly what I wanted. And you can't really see the bits of walnut, although when you eat it, you're gonna crunch into them. I just know it. Mmm. Mmm. Oh my goodness. The cake is just, it's dense and moist. And the cinnamon gives it this perfect subtle hint, while you get these awesome big chunks of apple and just the tiniest crunch from the walnut. Oh, this is going to be your new favorite bread. I absolutely promise you. I'm Madison Brown. Thanks for chasing me down in the kitchen.